All right, what's up, folks? Welcome to Foreign and Domestic. It is good to be back and good to see everyone out there. We had a little bit of a finagle issue. That would be because a wonderful YouTube decided they wanted to give us a strike for something that was total BS. But anyway, Alan, get us started off right, please, brother.
Yeah, I suspect we'll have a minor bit of conversation about that a little bit later. But until then,
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Awesome. How you doing, man?
man, I am not doing too bad. I could definitely be actually, believe it or not, working more. But I'm not. I did end up working a little bit today, but not that much. Could be better, could be worse. What I'm looking for is the YouTube participants list that they say people are out there, but if you haven't commented, it's not going to put you on the list. Duffer 426, Kyle out there, Tactical Fud, Thor's Axe. This list, and the YouTube auditor. I have a very, very special welcome for you this week. Eat a bowl of dicks.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll get into what happened here in a little bit. Rob, how you doing, man?
Doing all right. Trying to relax today. So I assumed something like something happened with you not being around last week. So, but hopefully everybody else is good and all's well. So was hoping it was something like that and nothing medical. So, but glad you're back.
Yep, good to be back. Jamie, what's going on, brother?
Enjoying holiday weekend, and I hope all y'all are doing the same. Weekend we set aside to pay homage to the American working man, and that's what we all are on here, I believe. But salute. Yeah, missed being here last week, but that's okay. Sometimes stuff happens,
Absolutely. So for folks that don't know what happened, basically we got a strike for the previous show, and they were claiming we were selling firearms. Not sure where, because all we did was talk about stuff and holsters and some accessories and stuff like that. But apparently we were selling something. And
I don't get the whole firearms thing. I mean, we talked about cleaning products and we talked about oils. We never mentioned prices even.
Nope. I tried to appeal it, and the appeal came back within less than 2 minutes. So tell me how they watched a 2-hour show in 2 minutes. Yeah, okay.
May I expand on that for just a moment here? And here's the thing: we might talk about our guns, and on some of our videos, we may even show them off and that kind of thing. But they're mine, and you can't have them. They're mine. They're not for sale. You won't be getting them. Period. Point blank.
Yep, absolutely. And I think all of you guys know I've been around doing this, being in the industry for quite some time. I'm not that dumb that I'm going to try and sell it over the internet. So, YouTube, take your head out your ass.
Yeah, we weren't trying to sell any kind of guns. We were literally talking about different products. It just it absolutely amazes me that we're doing everything that we can to try to abide by YouTube's regulations, and they literally just fucking make it up as they go. It's ridiculous. It is absolutely atrocious that they're just putting down their political beliefs and censoring what people are putting out on this platform. It's absurd.
Yeah, it's insane. And so along with the strike, I got some kind of limited ability to features. I don't know what that all entails, but that's up to them when I get back. Full access is up to them. So I don't know how long that could be. That could be a month, could be a year, who knows?
That probably means you can't do something that you've never done anyway.
Well, I know one of the things that won't let me do anymore is if I make a video, I can't pin someone's comment, which I don't know why. That's just dumb, but whatever. I know that's one of them, but I don't know what the rest of it is. That was just one of the things that it said at the beginning of it.
I mean, like that ability, like costs them anything to do. It is absolutely stupid.
It's just their way of trying to punish for something that didn't even happen, but whatever. We'll never stop doing what we do. Screw 'em. There's Gunpowder. How you doing, lass?
Dave's out there, Thorzak's. Kyle and Fudd.
That bearded and tattooed guy, good to see you. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you, brother. Dave, I don't do monetization anyway. I got away from that. Too many BS issues with that stuff too, so I walked away from that. I haven't done that in a couple of years. I think, well, yeah, it's probably about a year or two now.
I never set it up to begin with.
Yeah, there's a lot of BS involved with it. I just didn't want to mess with it anymore. It wasn't worth it.
So here's the thing. There's some politicians out there that are actually noticing the way YouTube is treating the gun community. And your and Daniel's representative, Jim Jordan, is kind of leading the attack on that front. And I need to call my representative, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and see if she can join in if she's not already. But it's basically a violation of your First Amendment rights and illegal.
Yep, absolutely.
Hey, Mock.
Yeah, Jim Jordan's one of the best ones we got out here, that's for sure.
Yeah, I find it very interesting that we've got big people talking about it. Big people talking about it. Trump's talking about it. Now, even Elon Musk is getting on the bandwagon. Come on. He's like, yeah, YouTube is not a money-making machine for Google. It never has been, and it probably never will be. So why keep it on? It's because why? It just furthers their own propaganda machine.
Yep, that's pretty much it. Jamie, is she on the no-fly list?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I know there's a few of them that are on stupid lists, but who knows?
Well, she pretty much shows up everywhere Trump is lately.
Yeah, it's probably because even if she is on a federal list somewhere, Trump's like, no, she's getting on my plane.
What are you drinking there?
Just some soft water and some hard water. And lots of it. It hasn't been nearly as hot this week in Iowa as it was last week, but I've been putting down probably 3 or 4 of these a day, no problem. Just flushing the body and staying as hydrated as I can, because even though I technically work mostly indoors, it's a warehouse, metal building with manufacturing, and so water that is not frozen and water that is frozen. So soft water and hard water. Not using the kind of water that you put in nuclear generators. I'm just saying. Doesn't taste very good.
Hydration's important, so I got to drink a lot, and I'll notice it if I get dehydrated. So, yeah, it sucks. Basically, everything's harder. Get headaches easier. Feel fatigued. You know, just simple thing as far as just being hydrated does make a huge difference. So, they state most people are dehydrated. So I guess that's why when the average person goes to the hospital for anything, they put you on an IV, is because usually you're dehydrated. So I assume it's that, and they love billing insurance for crazy prices for that fluid too. But I think it's something we could probably all work on. Not trying to harp on people, but it's a simple thing to make you feel better. Drink more water, damn it.
I only drink water at work usually. It gets pretty hot in there.
Yeah, I gotta force myself to, because I'm not a water guy, if I'm honest. But Gatorade, stuff like that, I drink a lot of. But I do, force myself to drink a couple bottles of water at least a day, on top of my pots of coffee and Gatorade.
Gatorade is so bad for you, dude.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's horrible, man. There's so much crap in there. It's not good for you at all.
Huh. All right.
I used to drink a lot of it too, and then I realized what was in there, and I'm like, nope, not drinking that anymore. You're better off just drinking water, and if you want to get a little bit more electrolytes, just put a little bit of salt in your water.
Well, you got me curious. I'll be looking into it now.
Yeah, trust me, there's plenty of evidence out there. I can send you a couple videos on it.
All right.
There's a couple different doctors. There's a couple different doctors that I follow.
Like that. Life water. Have you tried that?
It's all the same stuff, man. They have there's
minerals and shit. All right, vitamins and shit. Vitamin water.
The problem with them is Kyle says it out there too. Fake coloring, so you got the coloring in there. That's bad for you. There's tons and tons of sugar in there, and different forms. There's just none of it's good for you. The vitamin water I haven't looked into. That may be a little bit better, but.
So this is what I found out. I think what Daniel is referring to is they asked her if should people on the no-fly list be banned from purchasing guns and ammunition.
Well, it depends upon what you're put onto the no-fly list for. I mean, if you're a high-risk escapee felon, maybe. I don't think so, but whatever. If you're put on the no-fly list because you're a known Al-Qaeda supporter, I mean, it really depends upon what you were put on the no-fly list for. But still, one thing shouldn't necessarily tie to the other. I really shouldn't.
Okay, let me address this comment too. So, you're right. They do have sugar-free, but it's not sugar-free. It's just hidden in there. There's different forms of sugar, and trust me, it's got sugar in it.
Regarding that
Well, and
question,
even worse things like aspartame and I mean, aspartame is already tied to known to cause cancer. Hell, even the bubble gum, the gum that I'm chewing is aspartame free. Because it's been proven to cause cancer.
regarding that question, I would say in general, as a whole, no, I don't think it should ban you from firearms or ammunition because of the fact that I assume we know that, like the no-fly list is kind of ridiculous. A lot of the stuff that, a lot of people that have been put on there for, BS reasons. It's nothing, it's more of a political tool or something than an actual sign of an issue is what it seems like now. So, I personally don't think, you should be banned if you're on the no-fly list. I'd like to see the no-fly list be easier contested, be harder to be added to. There needs to be, it's almost like the red flag thing where somebody just says something and boom, you're on a damn list. So I don't like that aspect of any of it. So, I think it's kind of restricting your travel in a sense. Obviously, yes, there's other ways to travel, but it's definitely harming convenience.
Oh, yeah, a lot of it's all weaponized by the government. So, how can you trust it in the first place?
Well, I mean, no-fly list and red flag laws. Kind of the direction Daniel was talking about here. If they want to try to limit your ability to move, they're going to figure out a way to do it, and that's one of the ways is a no-fly list. If you've ever gotten belligerent drunk in first class and said something inappropriate to a stewardess, you can very well end up being on a no-fly list. It doesn't mean that you've got a problem that requires other rights to be taken from you.
Yeah, personally, I don't like to fly. A couple of reasons. The biggie to me is TSA. Like, honestly, I don't want to deal with people's bullshit. When you can go to a private plane if you got the money and go through with no security, no problem. But you go on a regular plane and they want to search every goddamn thing and treat you like a criminal. I don't like it. I think it's bullshit. I don't like there to be extra steps with power hungry people. Not saying all TSA agents are power hungry, but I don't know. I don't see it, man. Freedom takes some risks. Maybe a plane will get hijacked here or there. That's life. Still safer than driving probably. So I don't know. I don't see a justification for that. And that goes back to the whole Patriot Act aspect. I mean, I think they're too goddamn involved. Personally, I don't want all the bullshit. That's my major reason. So for that reason, I avoid flying by any means necessary as it is, like to the point where skip on vacations out of the country. But I got other reasons for that too, just because I don't like going anywhere I don't have my rights. Or I can't bring a gun. I may not. The fact that you can is a problem to me. But anyway, now I'm just rambling on. But I just don't like any of this type of crap. Sorry.
No, you're good, man. It's I don't just going to like and you walk in any federal building, you got to go through different security measures and all the rest of it. They're all a freaking joke and ridiculous.
Yeah, but it only takes one person to do something over the top, ridiculous, and even crazy and insane, to just get the government to go, oh, well, we're going to create this new law, this new regulation, this new thingamajigger, in the name of safety for all Americans. Right, sure. You're going to make me step through a body scanner. Why? Because the FDA said that it's safe to do that? How many times has the FDA been wrong?
Just so you guys know, the number's pretty high. There's a lot of zeros behind that first number. We're how many a trillion in debt now? I think that's probably close to the FDA's number of being wrong.
30. Probably more.
I absolutely love to fly. The bullshit that you got to go through in order to get on a commercial aircraft is ridiculous. And I've talked about it before on the show of wearing kilts when I fly, specifically because the kilt that I could wear, I could take everything off of the kilt and put it on the belt so that they can send it through x-rays. And I'm not wearing anything other than my kilt, and been pulled aside and questioned and searched and everything. It's like, come on, have to take my shoes off because a guy took a freaking lighter to his shoe. He had some kind of shoe bomb he was going to light off on a plane. So now everybody has to take their shoes off. No. And I'd honestly like to fly around countries in Europe and see how much difference there is between boarding that kind of aircraft and boarding an aircraft in the U.S. No, Abigail, no such thing. The only thing I was wearing underneath my kilt was my shoes and socks, and they made me take my shoes off.
Y'all excuse me for a minute. I think it started raining and I got to get my dog in. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Another thing that I don't know, I guess maybe people don't think about is, they're nosy. They're inspecting all your damn stuff. If you got too much cash, they're asking questions. In some cases, they're taking your money. Maybe it's you deal with jewelry. They're taking your stuff. There's a lot of situations where people are overseas due to legal business deals or selling a property, coming back, and all their money gets taken because they're trying to move actual cash or something of value. So uh, somewhere along the line, that's become a criminal act, I guess. I mean, I don't understand that. I know there's certain states where they do a lot of civil forfeiture. It's real big. So you get popped on the highway and, they suspect anything's drug related. They can take your vehicle, take your bank account and everything. And you got like 90 days to contest it with no money. So good luck. I don't like all this shit. Basically, you need some damn proof. This is America. There's no reason you should be taking somebody's cash. Doesn't matter what it is. Maybe somebody died. Maybe they're going to buy a house. It's none of your damn business unless they've committed a crime that you got some proof of. Leave them the hell alone. I just it's just one of them things. I don't know if people really think of that. I guess now everybody's credit and this and that. Or you must be a criminal if you have cash, but yeah, it's not always the case. I don't know. I just it's not. You shouldn't have to explain yourself when you're not a damn criminal.
Yep, absolutely. There's no reason anyone should be questioning anything unless you're actually doing something that is, like you said.
Yeah, well, when you get pulled over doing over 100 miles an hour in a car that's got paper plates, they're really curious. They're really curious. And sure, I offered up that I'm test driving the vehicle, and they're like, "Oh, so that would explain why you've got 10 grand in your pocket." Yeah. What do you think? I mean, yeah, most people just don't roll around day to day with 10 grand in their pocket. But there's situations where you might. And what's it their fucking business?
Right. Well, there's a lot of people like to put a cash down payment. So there's no, maybe you got 10 grand in cash to put down on the car you're looking at. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm a cash guy. So if we go on vacation, I usually have what I expect the trip to be, plus an extra emergency pile, and then a hidden secret nobody knows about extra emergency pile. Because sometimes when shit goes bad, it goes really bad, And but I don't want, like, example, the lady to know about that, because then, we get close to our budget, she'll be like, "Oh, we can do it," and then Murphy will come up and bite me in the ass. So that's why that's extra secret. But that's the way I do it. So usually it equates to a bit of cash, but I'm not doing anything. I'm hoping I'm bringing most of it back home, honestly, to be honest with you, but it's just in case.
So when did being in possession of United States currency become outlawed?
That's a good question. Or when does it become suspicious? You must be doing something wrong because you want to tip somebody in cash. I don't know.
Yep. There's another one too. Rick brings up as well. The anything over $600 BS. Yep.
It's gotten to the point now. You go to the bank and try to pull out a couple grand. They want to ask you why, which
Right.
it's crazy.
It's my fucking money. I can do what I want with it, right?
Back in the day, we got paid on Fridays and went straight to the bank and we rat holed cash. You know, it was a pain in the butt to actually have to write a check, and people looked at you funny when you asked them, "Can you write them a check?" They're like, "It wasn't any good." You know, I mean, dang, now you whoop out cash and try to pay for something that's, yeah, it's weird. It's a plastic society, folks.
Yeah, as an ongoing joke, if I'm in a store and they tell me what the total is, I'll ask them if they accept cash, because it's just like, yeah, it's obsolete. It's just so they've tried to obsolete it so much, but they just can't. They're continuing to obsolete cash, saying that it's strictly a criminal thing. No, it's not a criminal thing. And I go to the bank and I go to withdraw a couple of $1,000 and they ask me why. I'm going to go, you know what? Matter of fact, I think I'm going to close my account. Give me everything. None of your fucking business what I'm taking my money for.
I've seen that very thing done before.
I'm fixing to do that with my bank because I've recently discovered for about the past 2 to 2.5 years they've been charging me $4.99 a month just to have a dang account.
Maintenance fees, huh? Because they got to get in there and tinker on things.
Isn't that insane how some places do that?
Yeah. I think it's a way they can, not pay you interest because they're charging you for the account,
Right. Yep.
and you're you're not making anything off it, but yeah, I try to pay attention. There's places I go, place I go out to eat a lot. That's you get a discount if you pay cash. There's another pizza place I go to, same thing, discount if you pay cash. Like a lot of the places around that I've seen, not everywhere, but you do get a discount, and it's not like an illegal discount. It's the fact that they don't have to pay for the card machines or whatever type deal. They don't have to pay for that service being used or whatnot. So it ends up being cheaper when you pay cash. So just something. Yeah, I've also seen places where I couldn't rent a boat. They didn't do any cash. It was all card. So, and I'm not talking like a, motorboat. I'm talking like a damn canoe thing at a state park where there's nowhere to go, but right there. So it's not like I'm stealing it or something. You know what I mean? But it's card only, which I think is ridiculous. So I didn't rent a boat. Yeah, that's not the end of my world.
So now to go to the range that Ricky and I went to on Friday, you have to pay online before you go. Because I mean, there's instructions there that tell you how to pay, and it's $5 per person per trip. Or you can pay $25 for a year long admission there. And it's on federal land managed by the state. But the thing about it is that when you get there and you're reading the instructions, they tell you what to do on your phone. Well, there's no cell service there, so you're just out of luck. Used to, you could put $5 in an envelope and put it in their thing, and now it's all online, and it's
that takes me back to when you used to get those advertisements all the time to sign up for internet service. Go to www. It's like, How the fuck am I going to go to an online service when I don't have internet service?
Yeah, that was the fun one out here, trying to find a place to get internet when I first moved out here. There's no service. There's no cell service out here. It's almost impossible.
I don't know. Since we're talking cash and credit, I just want to add, I love cash. You probably got this by now, but you know what you got when you got cash. There's no glitch. There's no the power's out or somebody double charged you or some hidden fees or something wasn't deducted and you weren't paying attention and paid something and now you're overdraft, all this crap. You either have it or you don't. It's it's in your possession. So I mean, obviously, you shouldn't keep all your eggs in one basket, whatever. I'm not giving you financial stuff or whatever, but as a whole, I think cash is the way to go, man. It's not it's not really in your possession, and shit hits the fan, something goes down. What good is it?
I'll go you one further than that, Rob. This is the thing. If you got your money in cash, you're carrying it, and what you're doing business with cash money, you're going to restrain your spending more because there's something about even a debit card, much less a credit card. You get this mindset of, well, it's plastic, it's not real money. Well, if you're using a debit card, yeah, it's real money. It's coming out of your bank right now. But we tend to overspend with cards, whereas if we have to pull our hard-earned money out of our wallet and put it down on a counter, there's a different mindset to that.
Yep, I agree. I mean, yeah, not to get too much into it, but I got a wallet with a divider and stuff, so I'll have like, you know, bill money and then available money or whatever, expendable money. Yeah, I try to keep things separate or whatnot, but yeah, because you know what you got, what you don't have. You can see when you get down low, like it's too easy. I think with a card, even statistically, there's studies on what you just said where people, that's the big business now is debt, across the board. They made money. They're making money off from everybody's wants, and mistakes. So that's the big business out there. That's why all these cards and everything's offered. It's how banks and stuff. I mean, it's big money. So uh, credit used to be a shameful thing back in the day. It's what the poor people would do down at the corner store till payday. You know what I mean? So now it's looked upon as the way to go, and I think they've brainwashed America basically. So, and you look at everything else. You got to have the new phone every year or two. They're over $1,000 now, 1,500, probably $2,000. When damn well you can get a phone that works for like $100. It's not the one you want, but there's phones that work for that. Cars every so many years you got to buy a new car. They're on average what 40, 50, 60 grand now. Like, everything's just spend, 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 spend. You don't have the money, it's okay. We got payments. It's slavery. I'm telling you, it's a new form of slavery, people.
No, that's biblical. The Bible says the borrower is servant to the lender.
Well, and our government believes that they are the lender. That's why our currency is just like an IOU. It just doesn't carry any. It's not backed by anything. But yeah.
Well, look at our national debt. Obviously, our government and the system isn't financially stable. They don't know what the hell they're doing. So we shouldn't listen to them anyway. They're trying to encourage us to get credit and take loans out. We should be like, oh, hell no. Look at your shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's another issue right there. Nothing's built the way it used to be.
So let's talk about Thorzak's comment for a second. Go to a car dealership with a bag of $40,000. He says the car is 39. Would you hand him the bag of money? No, I'm not doing that, Thorzak. As a matter of fact, I'm counting them out at a thousand at a time. Right? Yeah, I'm drawing this out as long as I can, hoping that when I get to around 30 to 35, he's going to say, well, that's enough. And show him the bag of money and ask him what his bottom dollar is. I'm telling you.
Car dealerships don't want you to buy in cash anyway. They don't want you to pay in cash because the flat of the matter is they want to tack onto the percentage of whatever your finance is going to be. So if the bank is going to give you a buy rate, and that's exactly what you want to ask them is what is the buy rate? Going to give you a buy rate of 3.5, they're going to tack 2.5 points onto that and keep that money for themselves. That's how the car dealerships actually make their money. They don't necessarily make money off of just the sale of the vehicle. They make a few $100s. But they get you with a lot of the extras and the buy rate. So it's about sucking up that interest.
Not just that, they're going to try to upsell you a maintenance plan, a extended warranty. I'm like, I don't need no damn extended warranty because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. When something happens to this car, I bought it from you. I'm coming to see you, period, point blank. And you're going to get my car fixed in that miles and time. Like, what is it, 10 years, 100,000 miles now?
Usually around that, yeah.
It depends. You better check the fine print. So just because they advertise that doesn't mean that's a deal you'll actually get. So you want to always check the fine print on all that stuff. But Alan is right. They do make more money off the fine print side of it for sure. So I just want to agree with that. Jump on his statement with that. That's the big part of it that people don't look at. They just look at the monthly payment. But the big picture in the end, and now that they're kicking stuff out 72 months, I mean they're going a long time on some of this stuff where you're looking at like 7-year loans on vehicles now. Like
you can get up to 84 months now.
Yeah, so think of how much interest they're actually making off from that over all that time. Like, you know what I mean? That's definitely more profit than they're going to get off just selling a damn car to you. So that's the whole goal. If you're going to pay with cash, I would get a price and then disclose you're paying with cash, and they're going to probably be paying about it. But
if you do go the payment method, always when they ask you kind of what you want your payment to be, go low. Go as low as you can go, and always pay more. Have a number in your head of what you can afford to pay, and try and get it as low as possible so you can pay that much out every month and have X amount on top of what the minimum payment is. I literally had a car company call me before, like, you don't need to keep paying it like that. Like, I know I don't, but I'm gonna.
Yeah, because you're buying out quicker, basically. You're paying it off quicker. So you're going to end up putting less out in interest in the end, which it's a good way of going about it, yeah. But, a lot of them now, I'm seeing like 10,000 off MSRP because a vehicle people are in trouble. So, they're not expecting you to walk in there and buy that with cash. They're expecting to make up that money on the back end through the financing. So be wary of all these deals that are out there on the lots right now. I mean, I've never seen it before where you see these trucks with 10,000 off, 9,000 off. In my opinion, they're still asking too much damn money for these trucks. But that's just my opinion. So,
Absolutely. I mean, a brand new Tundra is $60,000. Like, dude, that's insane.
just because it says 10,000 off doesn't mean you're getting a good deal in the end. So yeah,
With
look at
60
the big.
grand, geez, that's a stripped down Tundra.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's I've seen some that are higher, but the average price that I've seen out here for a new Tundra is around 60. But Jamie's also right as well. Watch for all the add-ons they try to sell you. You know, half of that stuff you don't need. You'll never ever use it, but they're gonna keep trying to sell it to you.
Well, and that for a while, they're really adding a lot of bullshit fees that really have nothing at all to do with anything at all. It's money that's going straight to the dealership. Yeah, I mean, they go to try to put on something like, carpeted floor mats. Well, I don't want carpeted floor mats. You can take those out of the vehicle and keep that money. Oh, well, the vehicle goes with it. Well, then I guess you're going to end up keeping the vehicle if you don't want to keep the floor mats. Do you want to sell the vehicle, or do you want to sell the vehicle plus floor mats? Because I'll walk if you just are going to argue with me over fucking floor mats.
Yeah, it's called dealer
And
prep.
that's a big thing. People they'll fall in love with something, especially on a dealership lot, and people will just start talking figures when you're even walking around the lot. Don't do it. Don't ever do it. They're gonna prick and pry you when you're on a dealership lot. And what they're doing is they're already trying to set up their deal. Not your deal, their deal. Yeah, Edward Petty with the V6 turbo engines blowing up out there in the Tundras. Toyota supposedly found that out, but they also and are now saying a lot of the 2024s already have new engines in them. But there's some odd 100,000 vehicles that have a recall where they will swap out your engine for a brand new one. Toyota's really been hit hard with a lot of quality control issues the past 2 years. It's really kind of put a bit of a stink on their brand.
I know a guy that just got a new Tacoma, and basically he ended up having to wait a month and a week, something like that, to actually get it because of that fact. I think they ended up swapping, I guess, the motor out or something. So they had to wait for it to arrive and then do the job. And he's had it for a little bit now. So it looks nice, really does. I haven't ridden in it yet, but I don't know. I still don't think the money's worth it, but I'm a cheap bastard, so yeah, it's so definitely a thing with Toyota. So, which is strange because Toyota is known for being very reliable, but all companies have problems now and then, I guess.
Well, and we've seen it over the last few years where quality control has just not been there, and many companies. The same thing with customer service. It's almost non-existent anymore.
Customer service is horrible. I mean, horrible. Like in my area, a lot of these places, freaking ridiculous. Like it's trash the way they deal with people and stuff. Like they got an attitude to do their job at a lot of places, and nobody seems to care. It blows my
No,
mind. Like I avoid certain places, fast food, all that stuff. Even if I do naturally avoid it anyway. But if I was in a jam and gonna go somewhere, there's places I just don't go because I swear it's like you want to get out of the car and punch somebody. Like it's that bad. So it's just better off I don't go there.
yep, absolutely, 100%.
The It's amazing these places are staying in business because I can't be the only one. When you go and every time your order screwed up and then they got an attitude about things, don't want to give you a straw, this and that, just the general stuff. Or you ask them for some napkins and they roll their eyes and come back and throw them at you in the car. Like, no, man. Like, that's people need to start getting punched in the face.
Never experienced anything like that. I think it is just you.
Oh man, tell you come around New York, go to some of the best.
That's the problem right there in New York.
Absolutely, some of these places.
No, I was in the customer service industry for years, and if you can't tolerate the customer service industry, don't fucking work in it. Just get out of it, figure something else out, do something else. And believe it or not, the customer is not always right. I used to tell people that I would train, the customer is always right unless they're wrong. Because the customer's not always right. But I mean, if you can't tolerate being in a customer service industry, figure something else out and get out of customer service. It just do it.
I agree.
So when I first got into the guns and then in the industry, I didn't realize how much customer service I'd have to do. And let me tell you, folks, there's a tactical way to tell people they're denied or they're an asshole and get the hell out of your store without actually having to say it like that. And I learned that very, very well. And my people used to laugh their asses off at how well I could tell someone they're an absolute douchebag without actually telling them they're a douchebag. It's a skill, man, and I got it down to a T.
Well, and when you learn how to do it right, it's rather entertaining.
Oh yeah,
at least I found it extremely amusing.
I had one guy who was red in the face. His wife was just screaming at him to fucking stop. You're not going to get anywhere. My guys were just turning their backs, laughing their asses off. Oh, it was a good time. I felt sorry for his wife because she just wanted to get the hell out of there. She's like, just stop.
Yeah, there's definitely two sides of the coin when it comes to customer service. I mean, there's obviously those, scammers, all that shit. Just there's shitty people out there, so that are always trying to get over in some way, somehow. Bad customers you don't want type stuff. And then there's also the customer service representatives that just don't want to do their jobs. So it's a hell of a mix. I've always stated customer service people should get paid more money than they do. Just because you deal with every asshole out there. Some of them are justified, some of them aren't, but you're dealing with every damn one. So, in my opinion, you never know what's going to happen. So that's where it should be hazard pay, in my opinion.
When you're considering going to work in that sort of industry, maybe the best place to look is the mirror. How am I going to like taking care of needs of people like me? Yeah. Yeah. We can be demanding, folks.
So on a completely different subject, I've been a little lean on the cash for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, a buddy of mine is like getting a little too nervous about again the Sig 320 lawsuits that keep happening. And I asked him, I'm like, you know how many 320s I have? And he's like, oh yeah. I'm like, have you ever heard me say that any of them have just gone off on their own? And oh no. And I'm like, there's a good reason for that, because none of them have. But this is his carry, and he's getting a little irked about it. And so I don't know. I might end up acquiring another 320 at a semi-discounted rate, because the guy is now a little nervous about carrying the 320. And okay, I get it. You keep hearing these lawsuits come out about things, but so what are you going to go to? And doesn't really even have a plan yet. I'm like, well, if you go with something that's striker fired, pretty much everything out there has had this problem. So you might not want to go striker fired. And, depending upon the wheel gun you get, you may want to leave one on leave an empty chamber. And then like, yeah, it's there's risk to it all, but I may or may not be acquiring another 320 at a discounted rate.
Well, my only response to that would be, if you need more than 5 rounds of 44 Magnum, you have a problem, sir.
Yep, absolutely. Man's got.
I gotta tell my friends, if you see me running, you should probably run too, because that means I'm out of ammo.
That means you're in a situation you shouldn't really be in.
But if you foresee that you're going to need more than 5 rounds of 44 Magnum, you can always get you a Marlin 1894 and 44 Magnum. It holds 8 plus your revolver. Now you got 13.
So, Greg, Landquest Fitness just did a really good video on this yesterday, on this particular topic about carrying how many rounds, limitations, stuff like that. So, you guys haven't seen that, go check that out. It's a good video. Yeah, even when I'm carrying the 44, I'll have 2 speed strips, or however I'm carrying them. Well, it's usually all I carry with me extra. If I need more than that, I'm in a major situation that I should not fucking be in.
Yeah, so I've always wondered, and I need to test it for myself. Speed loaders or strips? Which is better?
So it really kind of depends on the gun itself too, because sometimes the speed loaders themselves will not always fit that well with the gun, depending on the kind of grip you have on there. Maybe there's a lot of variations there as to how that can work or not work. And then as far as speed strips, there's different options out there. I use Zeta 6. They were recommended to me by Greg, and then he sent me a whole bunch of them after I got some too, so I got plenty of them. And if you want to try some, I'll send some to you. But they're a great way of doing it. Super easy to carry them. They hold on to them real well. Super easy to get them out. And they'll fit just about anyone in that particular size of frame that you're going for. Versus speed loaders, again, there's a lot of different factors that come into play. There's different ones out there. There are some that you can push a button. There's others you twist them. But then the issue with those is they're generally bigger and bulkier.
And harder to carry and harder to conceal.
Exactly. You either have to have like a pouch to put them in or something along those lines because you're not going to stick them in your pocket because they're big and bulky.
I can see where
So Kyle, I carry the Zeta 6 for the 38 through 57, and they work fantastic for it.
Well, I don't want to get everybody excited, but I've got a guy working on a belt-fed handgun. Yeah, and it's a marketing thing where you can actually wear the belt. So, but if things go down, you can switch from magazine to belt-fed. We'll see if he ever gets anywhere with it.
That's pretty cool.
Sounds good in theory.
Yeah, that's what I say. So, yeah.
Yep, as long as he can figure out all the kinks and all the rest of it, yep.
Be pretty nice.
Well, and how would that work out in New York? It's not technically a magazine if it's belt fed.
Exactly.
Yeah. Kyle's right. And Scotsman mentioned it too. Some of those speed loaders, some of the grips get in the way of your speed loaders. There's not enough space there.
So, like some of the older Smiths, a lot of times they were used in competitions. You'll see they have to have this cutout, and that cutout is designed especially for that reason.
Okay, so hold on a minute. Let me go get in the safe and pull something out and look at it.
So basically, a good speed loader, I believe, would be faster but bulkier, and strips would be a little slower but more convenient.
They're easier to carry. You don't necessarily have to have like a pouch or anything to put them in as far as that goes. When you get into speed loaders themselves, generally they're bigger, bulkier, and there's multiple kinds of them, but you usually end up having to have some kind of pouch to put them in. So now you need a belt to make sure you have a belt on, but usually anyone carrying a gun usually will have a belt regardless. But now you got additional stuff on your hip and all the rest of it. It sticks out a lot. Like Jamie said, harder to conceal that stuff. And when you get into the problem with those too is if you do get into that situation, you got to remember that your blood's pumping, your adrenaline's flying, and you'll be panicking. You might be panicking trying to twist that damn thing and try and push the button right, and you may screw that up. Whereas if you just got the speed strips, pop them in and pull, good to go. A lot easier, a lot faster. In my opinion, it's generally easier to do.
So these speed strips, they're made out of rubber?
Yep, so they're made out of rubber. Actually, I got, they're just made out of rubber. There's different versions of them. Your standard version is lengthways, but the nice thing about the Zeta 6 is the Zeta 6 actually does it in the pattern of the cylinder. So you can have, they're all right there, put them all in at the same time, and peel back the rubber and go.
Okay. Ozzy said he's got some round ones. That's
Yeah, that's kind of the same thing. Yep.
okay.
So the Zeta 6 are not round. They are more kind of a mix of a hexagon and round at the same time. They don't do completely round. So they're cutting off the extra material that's not needed.
I had this picture in my mind of basically a stripper clip for a Milsurp rifle. But that's not what you and Ozzy are.
No. Hang on.
Kinda. I would say kinda, except there's holes in the clip. Right? I believe where the rounds snap in the holes, and then you just push them out and through.
So
Yeah, it's a flat piece of rubber.
So I'm not selling anything YouTube, so fuck off. This is basically what it looks like, Jamie. And your rounds just slide in there. That's your standard speed strip.
Okay.
And then the Zeta 6. Your Zeta 6 are in this shape.
All right. So that's more like a speed loader.
Yeah, in that sense. But it's still the rubber you just peel back.
Right. That's interesting. I have to check into those.
Oh, like I said, if you want some, Jamie, I can send you some. Just let me know what gun you want them for. I'll see if I got them. Because I got plenty of them.
Way cheaper than magazines or speed loaders.
Not something I would suspect you can use in cowboy shooting, though.
No, sir. Kind of. Yeah, you're loading them one at a time, no matter what, and you're unloading them one at a time, no matter what, unless you pull a cylinder, swap cylinders. And that's
And is that popular to do?
What's that?
Actually, just swap cylinders out.
Well, that's what I was fixing to say. One of the Clint Eastwood movies, I believe it was Josie Wales. He had like 3 or 4 loaded cylinders because it was a cap and ball revolver, and he would literally shoot 5, take the cylinder out and replace it, put another loaded cylinder in. But that's not a thing in cowboy action shooting. You're only shooting 10 pistol rounds. So you have 2 revolvers with 1 empty cylinder, which is very important. One thing I've learned about cowboy action shooting already is you need to be very conscious of how you load your cylinders. The load 1, skip 1, load 4, pull the hammer the rest of the way back, and set it down on an empty cylinder is crucial when you're shooting cowboy action shooting. Because if you go,
and the one thing that
go ahead, Scott.
I was gonna say the one thing that to pay attention to too. If you watch a lot of 6 shooters videos and stuff, pay attention to your round count. So as you're shooting, pay attention to what you're shooting. Because I see it quite often where they'll keep trying to pull the trigger and then they're out.
Oh, excuse me.
Bless you.
See, I guess I'm lazy. That's why I like to shoot semi-autos. I just keep pulling the trigger, and if I'm pulling the trigger and it ain't doing anything more, I know it's time to reload. That whole counting thing, I don't do it with calories when I go down to the buffet, and I'm not going to do it when I'm shooting. God, that sounded so ignorant.
Yeah. If you don't get that stuff in order, like that, and you start out of sequence. In other words, all 5 of your rounds are not together, and then you run out and they're counting, and they'll tell you got one more, and you have to cycle that gun around till you find that one. Yeah, that's a pain. That's costing you time, and that's the thing about cowboy action shooting. It's all about speed. I mean, the targets are so big and they're so close. You know, the only way you're going to miss is you're trying to go too fast and you just miss. You know.
Yep. Yeah, you watch some of the guys with the lever guns. They got the short stroke kits in them. They can go pretty dang quick with those things.
Yeah, they can, and they're using real light loads of 38 special, and there's absolutely no recoil. And I'm telling you, it's somebody that's really good. They're shooting 10 out of their revolvers, 10 out of their rifle, and 4 out of their shotguns in 16 to 17 seconds. Think about that. 24 rounds in 17 seconds. That's quick.
Yeah, that is freaking moving. Goodness gracious.
They practice a lot, that's for sure. And that's one of the flaws I have, one of the problems I have that we will overcome is Ricky and I will have to develop us a place to practice, and we will. He's fixing to start painting his house. He bought 25 gallons of primer. He's got the sheetrock up now, so progress is about to kick into warp drive. I'm hoping he's going to be moved down here for Christmas. I'm pretty sure he will.
Sounds like he's well on his way.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully so. Okay, so I probably shouldn't talk about this on this particular format, but I'm going to anyway. I'm not happy with my hand loads for 270 Winchester. And I've tried 2 different bullets and quite a few different powders, and I'm ready to look for something different. I've just, I guess I need to just keep at it, but I've tried 2 different Hornady bullets, 130 grain and the 130 grain interlock, and then the 145 grain ELDX, and these are for hunting. And I'm getting, a lot of people would be okay with these, but I'm getting 3-inch groups at 100 yards, and I ain't doing that. I can do better, and I will, but I'm 270 is not a cheap round to load for. You know, large rifle primers are getting more and more rare by the second. Every minute we're sitting here talking about it, they're getting like hen's teeth. And of course, you're looking at 50 to 55 grains of powder. And I refuse to shoot cast lead bullets in my 270. And I need to just, I need to call Dave and we'll just, or Alabama Reloader. Alabama Reloader's got some really nice groups, and he's using that what do you call it? Midwest powders from American Reloading. He's using the 620, and I never can find 620 on American Reloading. So there's that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, reach out to Alabama. He's done a lot of 270.
Yeah, I need to go over and see him. And basically, what I need to do is start all over with my brass prep, because these loads that I've loaded, I loaded them way before I started doing the 6.5 Creedmoor for 1,000 yards. I think I'm not sure how well I was doing my load development back in the day. So we'll start from scratch, start all over, and start working them up. But yeah, I'm not hunting with. See, this is what's killing me. My hand loads are shooting these anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5 inch groups, but factory rounds are just right there. I'm shooting 1-inch groups with factory rounds. And I know what you're saying. I know what you're fixing to think, and I know what you're thinking, know what you're fixing to say. Well, why don't you just hunt with factory loads? And I'm like, I could do that. I mean, I could, but
We all know you can get a 1/2-inch group.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just,
if I can shoot.
it's just finding that right combination. That's all.
Yeah, and I'm gonna start over with the gun too. I'm gonna do a real good barrel cleaning, and yeah,
Yeah, that thing should be capable of 1/2-inch groups all day long.
we just gotta start over from scratch. I don't even have a date on those rounds. See, that's how long ago it was. I know, Dave. 303 British is ridiculous. 270 is not that bad. What you used to could buy for 14 or 15 bucks pre-COVID, like 30-06 and 270, is now twice that. You're looking at $30 to $35 for a decent hunting bullet loaded from like Federal, Winchester, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, 30's up there too.
Yeah, pre-COVID, you could buy a box of 20, 30, 30s for $12, $13. And you can't even find 35 Remington.
I've seen some 35 Remington, but only online, and then you got to pay your hazmat and all the rest of it BS. So it kind of knocks itself out when you got all the extra fees.
Yeah, but to me, 35 and 30-30 were so easy to hand load for. I mean, I was getting 1-inch groups of at 100 yards easy with those, and those are lever actions with 2 barrel bands on them. Those are what people say won't shoot, and this gun I know is capable. It's a Seiko Model AV, and it's very Mauser like production rifle. I mean, Seikos are not cheap guns, and they'll shoot all day. I just gotta dig in, and I've got quite a few that come out of that gun. So first thing I got to do is make a modified case for my Hornady overall length gauge, and I've got all the stuff, including that drill press back there, to do that with. And I've got the drill bit and the tap, so it ought to be easy enough. I can just get everything leveled up and get it straight, and then you don't size it before you start doing that. You just clamp it down there.
Right.
Anyway, I'm rambling like New York Outcast, but I felt like we need to talk about something gun related. We've been talking about customer service, and
You're good, brother. Thorzaks, yeah, 30 is pretty easy to load. You can go pretty high with the pressures on them. The first ones I loaded up were super inaccurate for whatever reason. I don't know. That was back when we went to the range with Georgia Boy, and
Yeah.
we couldn't get any kind of accuracy with that for whatever reason. So I'm working on different loads for it. Try a different powder, see what happens.
oh my goodness, 74 beans for 2 boxes.
Yeah, that's up there, buddy.
Yeah, you're closing in on $1 a round for $2 a round for that.
Yep. Yeah, damn. I've been seeing more and more hollow point ammunition coming back out and being more available and more reasonably priced, but you got to buy it in bulk. Otherwise, you're not getting that good deal. You buy the small boxes, you're going to get hit just like that.
Are you talking about loaded ammunition or just the bullets?
No, yeah, loaded ammunition.
Okay.
So your hollow point rounds. Oh.
Fuzz. About time you showed up, buddy.
Well, we haven't talked anything about cats and making General Tso's chickens, so why would he show up?
I know, right? That's interesting, Dave. I love me some Winchester primers. I don't really know why. I think it's probably because, and y'all freak out, of any of my hand loads that just have not went bang, I was using CCI primers. And I don't remember ever having a Winchester primer just not go off. I I'm sure it's happened. I just don't remember it. All the ones I have had failures to fire with seem to have been CCIs.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't have an issue with is the Winchester primers. I don't like Winchester ammunition; they suck. But the primers are okay. I don't have any problems with the primers. I use those mostly. The ones I have right now are for 44 and stuff like that, and they work just fine.
Probably the first time I've ever heard anything negative about CCI, except for maybe price. But never heard of there being a problem with CCI. Not saying that there couldn't be, because
Well,
everything.
CCI tends to have a little bit harder cup.
And as
So
far as tester ammo, I had good experiences, but shooting 9mm FMJ. Personally, I know people say they've had problems or whatever. My problems have been experienced with Remington, like UMC or the Golden Duds or Thunderbolts, whatever you call them. To me, those have been trouble ammunition. But Remington White Box is worked good for me. I've even got a video up shooting a box of it, I believe. So ran through with no problems. I think the box was 7 years old, so maybe older. I don't know, but it's funny how people, we all shoot, but yet we've all had good results with product A and bad results with product A. It's just it's kind of strange how that works out sometimes.
yeah, absolutely. It's Winchester white box for me is absolutely freaking horrible. I've only ever bought it once, used it once, and it did not work well, and it was a horrible day. It was a great day for practicing drills as far as clearing and jams and malfunctions, but it sucked the day for shooting.
I got to be honest about deer hunting ammo. I really love the Winchester Super X and the Federal. Those are pretty much the only ones I'll buy as far as factory for hunting. And there's just so much more of a sense of accomplishment when you sat down to the table to partake of God's bounty with something you killed with something you loaded. It's even more rewarding when you do it with a cast lead bullet in other words, you took some empty brass and a bucket of wheel weights and you put food on the table. That's an awesome feeling.
Yep, absolutely. And just loading your own ammunition itself is an awesome feeling. You get out there and you start shooting with it. You can be proud of it. You did it yourself, and you have a way to sustain yourself.
Father says he's used it since 1960. This is the thing. Winchester has this new thing called deer season, but they still sell the Super X. I bought both. I've shot both. But when it comes to my hunting, I always use Super X. I've taken them out of the box and put them side by side and tried to find out what the actual difference is. And I can't find it. I don't know. It looks like the exact same bullet. Obviously, it's the same case. Now, I've not demilled them, took them apart.
I think I have some Super X and 243. Winchester rifle ammo seems to be okay. I haven't had any problems with it. Just their pistol ammo sucks.
Well, have you tried that brown box stuff that like regular plain cardboard, like I guess it's military law enforcement style box. It's just cardboard with black writing. Have you tried any of that?
I don't think I have.
The white box, when I first tried white box, I was just like, man, this stuff is just filthy. I didn't actually have like failure to feeds or anything, failure to fires. The brown box, I just got so turned off by the white box stuff that I haven't even bothered with the brown box stuff. Yeah, I just kind of avoid Winchester pistol ammo anymore.
Well, Rob said something earlier about Remington UMC. I've had good luck with that. I've really not had any problems with that. On the other hand, it seems like it's hotter than most. There's a noticeable increase in recoil for me for Remington UMC stuff.
Yeah, I've shot a box of it. I would have to agree with that. I never had any problems with it either.
To be fair, my experience with it is a brief one. So I only really think I bought it once because it was on sale. It was during one of them ammo spike times where everything's hard to find, this and that. Ended up finding a box. It was, reasonably priced, picked it up and took it out, started shooting, and got worried because it seemed like every round felt different. And I was like, what the hell's going on? Pulled the box out and everything, set the rounds on a table, and it looked like a bar graph. They were all set at like different heights all the way across the board. So it was rare to find a couple that were the same. And so that was a little concerning. It was, I don't know what it was, 50 round box, 100 round box, something like that, whatever. I ended up shooting them carefully, but it felt like every trigger pull was different. So I wasn't thrilled with that. It wasn't, to me, it wasn't like training ammo or anything like that. There was no consistency with it. So it did run and it was affordable, but like I said, every round felt different. Maybe I just got a bad lot number. I don't know. But with that experience, I've avoided it since.
Yeah, with the Winchester, it was just constant failures to feed, failures to fire,
Failure to
all,
eject.
all kinds of shit. Yeah, it was just nuts.
Ozzy, the last I shot UMC, it was not that dirty. It really wasn't. And pretty strong, pretty consistent. And of course, that was just 9mm stuff. Now, when Kyle Lusk bought that Red Hawk 44, and all he had was hand loads, and we were going shooting, and I stopped by and picked up a box 44 Magnum. This was pre-COVID, and I think I paid $33 for that box, a box of 50. And you talking about hot, man? That 44 Magnum hurt to shoot, and that big old Red Hawk, even that big old heavy gun. So they were hot. But they're supposed to be. They're 44 Magnums, right?
Damn right.
And one of our CMA buddies, we loaded a cylinder up and gave it to him, and he shot 2 of them and handed it to me. That's enough. And I'll never forget that day, Scotsman, when Chico shot 44 Magnum for the first time.
Woo!
I know. He said after the first shot, he said, "Oh hell, that ain't so bad."
I think it was shot 4 or shot 5. Like,
Yeah.
damn. Good times.
That's
And,
precious memories.
and I'm not even loading them hot. That's just my standard round. That's just middle of the road.
Is that Keith bullet?
That's the standard Keith bullet with 18 grains of 2400. That's just the middle of the road. You can go. I think you can go all the way up to like 20 or 21 grains or something like that.
There's something to be said for that load, man. I think the max load for that bullet is 22 grains. I loaded some at 20. You had some at 18, and they just shoot
All day. There's nothing better than just shooting 44 mag, man. It's just a beautiful thing.
It really is. And Dave's talking about his load with cast bullets. They're costing him $5 for a box of 50. Was that a dime a piece? Yep. That's Rob. He knows how to do math.
I don't know how much it's costing me to load 44. I couldn't tell you. I've never broke it down. It's not really a concern for me because I just, I love that round. So
Yeah, that's me and 35 Remington and 44 and 357. That's right, Mr. Pollard.
Yep, it's the, like I said, it's the middle of the road, standard kind of round, standard load, and it always been good for me.
And 44 special is quite a bit less. I don't think you even use 2400 in 44 special. You use I think you use unique or something like that for 44 special.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably unique. I don't think I ever saw a load for 2400 in special.
Yeah, because they are 44 special ain't nothing to sneeze at, but them full house 44 mags are. Yeah, those kill deer at 50 to 75 yards every time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. When I first got into 44, it was Super Black Hawk, and I got some ammunition with it when I bought it. And I've told you guys this before, but when I went to the range and shot it, the guy that was with me told me, "Hey, you need to stand over here and watch." And that flame that came out the end of that barrel was like 4 foot long. It was insane, and I've never looked back since.
That's so cool. I remember when I first got my 586 way back in the 80s, it was throwing a 2-foot flame out the barrel at night. I'd go out on 4th of July and run a couple of cylinders through it just to watch the flame come out the end of it. That's a nice dang gun right there.
When I was living out in Arizona, we used to bring out the blunderbuss on the 4th of July. Put all kinds of fun stuff through that.
Nails, gravel, glass.
Whatever you can find.
Gotta be fun. I've experimented a lot with shotgun shells, nails, you say ball bearings, plumbing parts. Try to make flechettes or whatever. There's a lot of cool stuff, but some of it would surprise you. It doesn't really do as much as you would think. Others would surprise you the other way. So I think I'd really enjoy a blunderbuss.
I mean, built-in funnel, Rob. How can you go wrong?
Yeah. And from my understanding, you can pretty much stuff a blunderbuss with anything available. Like you're stating, gravel, basically any damn thing. So that's kind of cool.
You know what'd be fun in one? Marbles. That would be fun.
Yep. Yeah, I've shot marbles out of shotguns, so they're pretty nasty. So definitely do some damage. So
Thorzak's ain't wrong over there either. Nothing like having a fantastic group and saying, I did that. There's Pop's Quest. What's up, bro? That's another thing I got to get into, Rob, is shotgun reloading. I've got to come up with a cowboy load that's not quite so heavy on the recoil for that. There's Walter Viejo. Hey, Walter.
I'd like to get into it myself. I haven't yet. I've modified factory shells, a lot of that. So, but haven't actually loaded shotgun shells myself. So, but from my understanding, it seems pretty easy. So, pretty simple, more forgiving, I guess, than handgun rounds or whatnot. From my understanding as a layman. So. Obviously, I'm sure it matters. Don't get me wrong. Like, how much powder you're putting in, the hull difference, things like that. You're wadding, but it's I don't know. Seems seems fairly simple from the outside looking in.
It's hard to mess up with shotgun because the pressures are so low. But you can bow one up. People will tell you that you can't. Mr. Pollard says he's loaded a marble with 3 double-aught buck and 13 gauge. I'm assuming that's 12.
See, being a layman, my rule of thumb, like when I modify shells, it's whatever the weight of the shell, I stick to that weight. I don't go over. So it might be lighter, but I don't ever make it heavier. And I've had good results. So technically, the barrel of my gun, I'd almost call it self-cleaning in a sense. When I shoot wax slugs mixed with stuff, you look down the barrel afterward, and it's just kind of glowing at you. It's almost like it's polished out or something. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sell and make those cleaning shotgun shells. I don't know if that's a myth or whatever. Just come on. You just if you've been out skeet shooting for the entire day and then the last 5 or 8 rounds that you run through it is these cleaning rounds.
So I've seen them. I've never bought them because I don't really believe that they'll do anything.
I'm kind of on that same page. It just doesn't seem right. So I've never actually spent any money on them. I don't know if they're worth a snot or not.
the easiest thing is just have a bore snake with you, especially like with shotgun. Run it through the bore before you leave the range, and then when you get home, clean it. Generally with mine, and I'll be honest with you, generally mine, it's just always just been the bore snake. I really don't do a major cleaning on it. Never really have to. Bore snake takes care of 90% of it, if not more.
Well, I got these new barrels, and for my double barrel side by side, 16, and those barrels are really rusty inside. I mean, they're not unshootable, they're not unrecoverable, but they do need some attention, which they'll get. And I've got some plans for that. Kyle, I have several shotgun reloading books, but I'm wanting to reduce loads, and I don't think there's no minimum charge in there. And that's what I'm looking at. I mean, I don't want my shot to just roll out the end of the barrel, but this is the thing, you want as light a recoil as you can get and still knock over that steel target, because it counts as a miss until you knock it over. So if your loads are too light and they're not knocking over the target, then you got to keep shooting them until you knock them over.
And that's a decent sized piece of steel too, so it's got some good weight to it.
Yeah. And I'm shooting factory loads in mine right now, and there's a good bit of recoil there in 12 gauge, as everybody knows. So, slowing you down a little bit, getting back on target. And that's one of the things I got to practice too. I think one of the biggest ways you can cut time off of your score is to just practice getting your shells out and back in to your double barrel into your coach guns. And these guys that shoot those lever action or pumps, those Winchester 97s, they have to load those one at a time. That seems like it'd take forever. But when you get those chambers polished up, you can actually shuck them spent shells out. That's quick.
Oh yeah. There's a couple of the guys again that shoot with 6-shooter that they're damn quick with that shotgun too, man.
Yeah, see, that's one of the improvements I've seen in his game. He's really improved with his shotgun skills.
Yep. He's come a long way with his lever action too.
He's fast with that shotgun. And I talked to him about it on Friday nights. He's like, "No, man, I'm still slow." I'm like, "Not where I'm sitting, buddy."
See, that's the thing though, and it's always the case. We're always our own worst critic.
Yeah.
He's probably got a number in his head of how fast he wants to go, and until he gets to that point, he's probably not going to be happy.
He's like, if I beat 30 seconds, yeah, and that's where I want to get. That's my first goal, is to break 30 seconds. And again, we're talking about 24 shots. So at 30 seconds, you're still just a little bit over 1 second per shot. But the moving and the changing guns and all that kind of stuff, that's all going in there too, man.
Yeah, somebody mentioned about cleaning or at least oiling the inside of their shotgun barrels once, and I just told them just take your shotgun barrel off and use it as a funnel when you change the oil out of your truck. You can use that, just funnel it down to your drain pan. It's fine. Then just make sure you clean your chambers. It's okay.
Yep, there you go. Yep, just like anything else, any other kind of shooting we do, speed comes with practice and time behind the gun.
Absolutely.
Well, and I suspect you got dummy shotgun rounds you can practice with, just to work that, right?
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I got a half a mess of those high dollar all aluminum powder coat. No, I don't even know if they're powder coated, anodized, whatever.
They're I believe they're anodized, if that's like the Azooms or whatever they're called.
Yeah. That's that. I'm hesitant to say company names anymore because of screw tube, but yeah, and that's what I've practiced with. I ain't nothing like some of these guys, like Pops, and it's a totally different game um, in the Western shooting as it is in the competition shooting. That quad loading crap, that just blows me out of the water how those guys can do that stuff that quick.
Oh yeah. Well, you watch KB. KB got pretty fast there for a while.
You talking about in 3-gun?
Yeah. Yep. Roll it over and load it up fast. You can load it, flip it back over, and keep going.
Bet they're not using Remingtons with that. Damn. Okay, man. They be chewing up their fingers like crazy.
Most of the guys that do that kind of shooting too will either load their own or they'll buy factory stuff too, because you can buy it in bulk, obviously. But I don't know of anyone that I've seen use Remington in that kind of competition.
One of the reasons I went with the Mossberg over Remington, shotgun wise, is that damn load gate. Yeah, that Remington, man, that'll chew your thumb up, chew your finger up. The Mossberg just ain't like that, and the safety on the Mossberg, and the Mossberg has dual extractors, so yeah. Which is it necessary?
Most of the guys shooting that kind of competition, they're shooting Benallis.
Yeah, I get
shit
it.
Like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Your high end stuff. Yeah, your Benallis, your Berettas, and all that stuff. There's tons of them out there. Tons of good options.
That would be negative. You can use black powder if you want. And 6-Year Texan uses a lot of black powder, but it's not mandatory that you use black powder. I mean, there's one division that is. I think it's I can't remember the name of it. There's a lot about this. I'm just trying to get started. There's a lot about it I don't know, but one division is strictly black powder.
Yeah, they got some unique names for the divisions and stuff too, so it's not easy to remember them all.
Yeah.
And the one thing to remember too is every club's going to be slightly different, because like at 6-shooters, some of the guys are wearing shorts and stuff like that, and typically if you go by what the rules say as far as SAS, stuff like that's not usually allowed. So it all goes by the club.
Yeah, and it's not typically 105 or 110 degrees where you're shooting either.
Right.
So
All right. Well, I think we'll start going through the room. Rob, what you got, brother?
Not a damn thing. But got a captain and coke. But besides that, not a damn thing. Have a great night, everybody.
Awesome, man. Appreciate you being here. Jamie, what you got, man?
I'm working on video and got plenty more ideas, but I hope to have a video up tomorrow or Tuesday, and maybe 2. But Friday nights at 8:00 on Georgia Shooting Connection channel. This coming Friday night will be a very special night, so you don't want to miss this coming Friday night. So thanks for having me, guys. I always enjoy spending time with you guys on Sunday nights.
Awesome, man. Always appreciate you being here. Yeah, we had a lot of good discussion, a lot of good comments from the side chat. Appreciate you guys out there. Good to be back. Good to see everyone. Sorry we missed last week, but again, good old YouTube hit us, so it is what it is there. And Alan, take us out right, brother.
Oh man, thank you everybody for being here. Been a good chat. Been all over the place as usual. Other than we didn't talk about any plots to Gilligan's Island, unfortunately. Yet, I have a couple of things coming in, but I'm probably not going to be putting out any videos. I've finally gotten a holster and some more magazines for the CZ Shadow 2 compact. So I got those coming in and a couple other things, including a copy of my book. I finally found a print company that will print my book. Nevertheless, the thing I do want you to remember is to keep them magazines loaded and one in the chamber. Woo!